Okay, hello everybody. We are here this evening to start the first lesson of Quadrigram, this Quadrigram training course that we are going to learn how to make the data stories with Quadrigram. Okay, here with us we have to Xavi Gomez, that is part of the Quadrigram team. Hi, Xavi.
Hello. Hi there.
And he's going to help us with the questions of the season. So, if you want to make us questions, I'm going to share the screen just to indicate how to do it. Okay, and to try to avoid this effect, I'm going to click on Xavi. Perfect. So if you want to avoid this, if you want to make questions and answers in this section, you have to click into this icon. And here in this menu, you find a green button that you can click and make your question. So we are going to answer between blocks of content, whatever doubt that you present for us. So let's start. What's quadrigram? Well, going to show you. First of all, Quadrigram is a online tool. So you have to open a browser. I am using Chrome to access to Quadrigram. Perfect. In this is the Quadrigram website, the landing page that you find when you click the URL. And here we have different sections that I think that could be useful for you. First section is the gallery, when you can find projects that Quadrigram users around the world have made. We always ask for permission to upload a project to our gallery. And if you make a Quadrigram project that you like to publish, of course you are invited to send us and we are going to publish in our gallery of projects. Okay, so we have a blog where we write about news of the tool and editorial articles and projects that we made internally. And we have the tutorial section where you find pieces of information that will help you to learn Quadrigram. Okay, we have a quick start with 5 sections, basic tutorials, and advanced tutorials to more specific tasks. As important as the other sections, we have the community. The community section allows us to interact with the Quadrigram community and Quadrigram users that write, ask questions and answer how to and share tips and tricks of the tool. And the pricing, I recommend you for a start to test Quadrigram, the free plan, and if you need more to amplify your plan, you can to upgrade your plan. You have the information available about us. This is the story of our team, and at the end, contact to write us about the topic that you want. So after that, we are going to start to work with Quadrigram to make beautiful data stories. To make this, to get this, we have to click on Go to Editor, Go to Editor button. And if it is the first time that you access to Quadrigram, a screen with asking you for permissions on your Google Drive is going to be displayed. You have to accept the permissions in order to work with Quadrigram. What Quadrigram is going to do is create a folder in your Google Drive, call it Quadrigram, where you can manage your data, and the projects of the information about the projects of Quadrigram is stored in your Google Drive too. It is not stored in a database from Quadrigram. It is distributed in each Google Drive for each user. Okay. And in the Quadrigram folder, you'll find a demo folder with data that is going to help you to start with a project. Okay, so we are going to start to manage. Okay, perfect. Xavi, save me. Just give me a moment. Okay. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect, Xavi. Please unlock your micro to talk. That's great. You have the micro. You cannot. We cannot hear you with your microphone.
Are you
Perfect.
talking to me, Carlos?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now we can listen. So yeah, please. So I'm going to
Ah,
share. Are you looking the window now? You
yes.
watching the proper screen now?
Yeah, I can see the Quadrigram window.
Perfect. Please, Federico, could you confirm us that you can watch the screen properly? No? Okay. Okay, thank you. So that's okay. We're going to continue. What we are doing now is to learn how to manage projects in Quadrigram. Okay, so here in the project control, we can create new projects, open projects. For instance, I can create a new project that I call lesson 1. I have to say that what we are going to make in this course is to build a data story about the education in different countries. Okay, so in order to follow the contents each week, I'm going to create a new project. So this is a lesson 1 from the education tutorial. I create my first project with this name. If I want to change the name of the project, I can just click in the name and I can modify the content. Here in the project menu, I can open the project. And here we have all the projects that you are working on it, okay? So this is my current project, lesson 1 on education. And from here, from this menu, you can remove the project that you are working. What else can I do with projects? I can save as in order to make a copy. For instance, the next lesson I'll make lesson 2 and we'll start to work in this lesson. I can rename, and really important, I can share the project. So for instance, if I am working in a project, I can share it with Xavi or with another mate, and he can work in this copy of the project and again share back to me, and I can continue to work. And in this way, you can work with Quadrigram like a team. Okay. Is everything okay? Yeah. So perfect. If you have questions up to here, we can just write us and we'll stop in the moment. Okay. So now the next block of information that I want to teach is how to manage data with Quadrigram. To manage data with Quadrigram, we have to use this tab. So in order to load files that we have in Quadrigram, we can click here in import new file, and the list of our files is going to be displayed here. Okay, we can work with Excels, Google Spreadsheets, CSVs, and JSONs. And if you want to upload a local file that you have in your local drive, you can click here in Drop Files and choose the file that you want to upload. It is going to be uploaded to Google Drive and you can access to it. Okay. So I'm going to use some data that I prepared for this lesson. The first table that I want to show is countries context. In countries context is a folder. I'm going to open it in Google Spreadsheet too. To open in Google Spreadsheet, I can click here in countries context. Okay. So here we have countries context, and we have this layout where we have items that in this case are countries in the rows, and we have different variables in each column. Okay. In this case, I know that they are different variables because, for instance, the column region is literal, is a string or a text string, and here we have a value in dollar by a student, and this column is about a percentage. The unit that I am using is different, okay, in each column, or they are directly another kind of data. So this kind of table is going to be called vertical table in the course, okay? So when I load a table, in this case, this vertical table of countries context, I click OK, and what Quadrigram did here was to break the table in small pieces of information that are called blocks. Okay, we're going to call to these pieces of information blocks. Okay, we're going to have a block for each row that we are using in this table. In this case, I want to have a block for each country. Here in columns, I'm going to have one block for each column. And the same for column names. Here the names of the column, okay? And here I have the names of the rows. I don't know if we have any doubt to here. I think that is everything okay. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. So, as I said, you can, if you want to make any question, you can go here to question and answers, and you can write here in this section, okay? Read. So, here there is an important point. We create a block with with all the table, okay? So we can operate, we can we can process the information of the whole table using this block. So I'm going to load another kind of table that is that we are going to call horizontal table. And in this case, it is about the results, the scores of different countries in the PISA exam. Okay, is a exam that the OECD organized for students of a lot of countries, so we can compare the performance countries along the time. Okay, in in this year. So here we have a single variable that is the score in the PISA exam, but for each country in the rows, the same that we have in the in the vertical layout. And about the years, we are going to have in the columns, instead of different variables, we are going to have years, the same variable in different years. Going to load this information, and that's okay. What Quadrigram did was break in blocks as we watched it for the vertical table. It's the same, okay? Perfect. So now if we have any doubt up to here, but the next block of the lesson is knowing the components of Quadrigram. Components of Quadrigram are grouped in different types. The first and most important type is charts, are charts. We have, for instance, traditional charts like bar chart, and we have maps. Quadrigram offers maps to create layouts, radial networks like radial network and the forces network, and we can interact with this kind of graphs. Okay, so I'm going to add a chart, a bar chart. So to add a bar chart, I repeat, you can drag and drop the component, and you can place it in the grid, in the project's grid. Okay, so here can drag, drop the chart, and we can resize from here, from this corner. Okay, we resize here, and here we go. We have a bar chart that, for instance, I think that could be interesting if we populate it with, I don't know, with some of the data that we loaded in the vertical table. For instance, we cannot use the region component because these are string texts. We cannot use this block of information. So if we drag here, it is saying that, okay, this is the ground kind of data for these visualizers. Instead of this, we have to load a list of numbers. Okay, so we can drag and drop here. Here we go. We have the dollar per student cost from primary to secondary. Okay, no non-university students by each country. For instance, we can load this this block that shows the percentage of women. Okay, the percentage of women that has a university degree in each country. The same with men. And here we can drag and drop the percentage of people that has a upper secondary education. That's great. So I'm going to add a line chart too. Perfect. Can interact with the line chart if I can drag and drop in order to place it. And here in the line chart, I'm going to work with a horizontal table. Why? Because I have dates, I have years, and a line chart is a far better representation for this kind of data. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop, for instance, the performance of a country in this exam along the time. To drag and drop Denmark, can drag and drop Germany, can drag and drop Indonesia, and at the end, if I want to display every data, every country, I can drag and drop the whole table, and here I change the data table orientation because I don't want countries, I want years. Click two rows, and here we go. We have the performance of each student by year, each exam. Okay, that's great. I can save here, and okay, if I want to change the tab, the spreadsheet tab that I am showing, I can recover the file here from clicking on the pen. For instance, here I have the score of the girls, here I have the score of the boys, and here I have the difference between boys and girls. I'm going to show uh, this tab because I think that are more interesting than just the score of girls or boys. If I click OK, here we go. We have a mess of lines because there are a lot of countries, but we are going to work during the course to improve this performance. Okay. So we have another kind of components that are really interesting. For instance, the text. Quadrigram allows to create text, and here we have some presets that can that are a kind of guide in order to, for instance, to create a title of the project. Okay, and it's really interesting to follow the rules of the to create a good data story, to make the proper context, because the success of a data story is to create a good a proper relation between the graphics and the text or the content that you are showing. It is going to make that the story is easy to understand. Okay, so if I'm going, I have here a document that I'm going to use to create the contents, okay? Because, for instance, we can write something like education, sorry, education performance for each country. Had a problem here with the clipboard, and you can. I want a robot or I don't know Tilium web if, kind of font, okay, and I can increase. That's too much. I can increase the font size. Perfect, and I want to have it in a vertical align and paragraph align in the middle. That's great. So the here I have the title, and I can drag and drop, I don't know, something like a quote. I can say, for instance, that I am the author of the choose photo, that's okay. Far smaller, middle, and I can change the color, okay? As to give a proper hierarchy to the text. And for instance, I can add a body to the project with the following content that I have here in my Word. Sorry. Okay. Hmm. This is the Spanish version. Sorry. This is the English version. Perfect. I'm going to align properly. That's okay. And one thing is really interesting is to add a title for each graph. Okay, so if we have here a percentage of people with secondary degree, and for instance, I want to a vertical align at the bottom. Okay, so if I want to add a title here, I can add from the menu and make the same presets, but this is important. In order to be more effective, I can duplicate this text. We can do it pressing the key D, D from Denmark, okay, D, and I can drag and drop. And at this moment, I duplicate the block. So I can put it here, and I can say that this graph is representing the pizza performance by country. That's great. I don't know, Xavi, if there is any doubt up to here.
No questions.
Okay. If you want to, we're going to make us as resolve about the piercing guy. And perfect. I invite you that if you want to interact or to make any question that you want to say, it's okay. This first lesson is really easy, and I understand that there are no doubts, but we are going to increase the difficulty level of the course with the next lessons. Okay, so that's perfect. What we are going to watch now is to know how to change the properties of a chart. Okay, well, to change the properties of a chart, we have to click in the chart, and here in the inspector panel that appears that is linked with the chart. Okay, we have a list of properties of the chart grouped by these tabs. Okay, we have data properties. That is, for instance, um, if we want to sort or not the graph, we have the height. Here we have the style properties, the select properties. Select is because we can highlight, we can select some elements over the others. So we click here. We can change the selection clicking on the items. Okay. Now I can select one of them. That's great. And we have another way to select the items that's using the property IDs of the selected items. So if I write here Japan, here we go. The country that is selected changes at the moment. Okay, if I write France, okay, the country change. That's perfect. So this is how a property works. You can change, you can assign information to or blocks from to the slots of the property, or you can directly interact with the properties. Okay, so if we follow the order of the groups, we have a style, and here in the property field color of each bar, we can change the color of all the bars. That's really easy. Can write or choose here from here a color, or we can write directly an X number. Okay, or we can create a list of colors clicking in the icon of list. Okay, so now I'm going to assign a color for each country. That's great. And here we have, and the other countries that doesn't have a color, well, a color of the first color is used for that. Okay, perfect. I prefer to have every bar to the same color. What I did to make this was really easy, was just drop the block out of the project. Okay. Okay. Another property is the opacity of each bar. It works like the same, but with a value between 0 and 100%. Going to set to the 60%. With this effect, I increase the highlight format of the selected countries. Okay, I can distinguish better the countries among the selected countries among the others. Okay, perfect. I can change the color of the outline. For instance, I can put it, I don't know, green, and it doesn't change because I have the opacity by default of the outline to 0. But here we go. We have here the line. And I can reduce the outline thickness to 1, for instance, and set the chart style as you want. Okay, so I can play with the gap between the bars too. I'm going to let the outline to 0 because I don't like the effect, and I can reduce them. I can change the background color, the background image, and the background opacity of the chart and of whatever component that I have of a quadrigram. Okay, and here we have the transitions. Okay, what is a transition? If you double click in a block, whatever it is, you can inspect the content of the block. In this case, we have a list of values that are countries. Okay, for instance, Korea 40.6. Okay, so what is going to happen is that if I assign another block, for instance, below upper secondary, this new block has the same countries. Could be possible that yes, Korea disappear. No, it's here. Okay, yes, we have the another value of but from the same country. That's the same country that has um, the same number, the same string, the same identifier. Okay, the same ID. So Korea is the bar that is linked with Korea here is going to change from this value to the other value with a transition. And we can manage this transition. For instance, we can say that I want that the transition duration is of 2 seconds, 2000 milliseconds, okay? And that I want to have is type of elastic. So if I change my data now, the kind of transition has changed. As you see, now it's elastic and slower. Can watch here. The same transition. That's the same block, sorry. And now just quickly, okay? It's quicker. That's okay. So here we have select. We already check what's the use of the IDs of the selected items. We can say what country I want to highlight, okay? And in this property, I can say that if I want to allow a mode in the chart where there are no item selected like this, okay? If I force to yes, what is going to happen is that so I click in the same element, it is going to be highlight always, okay? Perfect. Have the selection mode where we have a single selection, just only one element selected each time, and I can change it to multiple selection. Now I can select more parts, more than one, okay? And at the end, I can change the style the of the selected elements. Okay, I can force to, I don't know, change the fill color of the selected items. I don't think it is really useful. I can change the opacity. It's not okay because we want to increase the difference between items. Okay, can deactivate the outline color, can make here deactivated. So now we don't have the line, okay? And we can change the opacity of the elements to 0. And here we have a proper graph, okay? Axis title, for instance. I want to I want that the data is upper secondary, okay? Perfect. So here in the axis, we have the label of the block that is inserted in the slot of data. And maybe this is not the name that we want to show. Maybe we need something like the text on this title. Okay, I mess it, but don't worry, you can make command set and here and we have the content. Okay, I think that I did it wrong. Here we have, and now I'm going to change the title of the y-axis. Okay, I can change it in this axis. Well, another important property is the direction of the bars. Can choose to show it the bar chart like horizontal. We can make it bigger, and now we have the countries properly displayed, and we can assign here the values. Prefer to have it vertical. Going to change the measures again, and that's okay. And in the x-axis title, I can write, for instance, countries. And okay, the range of the y-axis, I can modify the range of the y-axis. Okay, for instance, if this is a percentage, if I want to um, um, change the max of the y-axis to 100%, I can write 100 and it changes. Recommend you to, I don't know, deactivate the visible range because Quadrigram already calculate the proper range for that is more convenient for you. And in the bar chart, of course, it always starts from 0 in order to don't distort your data, okay? Change these labels from if you don't want these letters, you can change them. Okay, you can activate or deactivate the lines. You can change the colors, and you can ask if auto detect or not the data type. This property works, for instance, in the line chart. we have here, like it is looking for data and studying the data and detecting that there are years, and it is filling with this information. If you don't want to make this, you can click here to know, and here we have the lines are completely we have only the years where the PISA exam was made. Okay, coming back to the bar chart. Here we have the tab for the tooltip where we can change the information, and we can say if we want the tooltips or not, the type of delay. We can change the title, that automatically we have the name, the identifier of the bar. Okay, this case is a country, and if you want to change this, you can do it, because you can write here the text that you want. For instance, here we have the title of the same title for each element. You can deactivate it here. That's great. And you can change the tooltip styles too. You can activate this property to options, and for instance, choose the clouds and the layout of the tooltip change. And this is important. We can, I'm going to change it to bubbles. So it's okay. And the tooltip values probably is the most important property of the tooltip properties, the tooltip group, where here we can change the content of the tooltip, the text that say upper secondary. Maybe we can change it. We can choose this text, and as we make to the title, we can write it to the label too. And here we have the information. This is the label. We can add a prefix, and we can add a suffix. For instance, a percentage. In this way, we can set properly the tooltip. We can add a description to the tooltip. For instance, we can activate the text, and we can add, for instance, the region of each country. And now it is displaying the region that I'm checking now that in Spanish, but I think that it's easy to understand. Asia Oriental, Europa Central. It's okay. And tooltip image URLs, where you can add a tooltip for each element. You can add an image, a different image. Okay. And here we have the text. Okay. We can, this is the last group of properties, and here we can modify the font size, the font family, or the color of the text that are in the chart. Okay, that's okay. I don't know if we have any doubt.
No, we
Perfect.
don't have any. You can continue.
Perfect. Thank you. So that's everything about the properties of the charts. We have another components that we are going to discover in the following lessons. For instance, we have shapes, we have media to add images, YouTube videos, and iframes, and we have controls. Controls will help us to make it richer the the data story. Okay, we are going to increase the interaction of the components, and we can provide to our audience more possibilities to discover and interact with the data. Okay. So the last block of information that I want to teach today is about the layout settings. Okay, so I'm going to save this project and create another new project, and in order to modify the layout settings, great. I'm going to create this project in order to modify the layout settings and to understand the effects of the different changes. And as you can see, you can check how powerful these properties are. Okay, the layout settings is in the top right corner, and in the first tab, layout, we are going to work in the eh, in the grid of the project. Okay, what's the grid of the project? When you add a component, when you drag and drop a component, you can see a grid that is filled with a blue line, a blue rectangle to know where we are going to place the chart. Okay, so this grid forces us to choose the position of each element, and as you can see, we can modify it. Okay, so if we want to control this layout, this grid, we can, for instance, change the width of the layout. We can change the margins of the layout. These margins are the space that we have the grid, okay, between the grid and the border of the project. For instance, if I increase it, um, we have now a 100%. I'm going to let them 20 pixels, and I'm going to change. I can change the height mode. Presentation mode allow us to allow the the project to grow vertical. Okay, we add a new chart and we add it at the end, and the project increase. If you need to create a project with a fixed height, you can choose it here. For instance, to embed in a blog or in the website of a newspaper or whatever. If you active, you can define a final height. Okay, I don't want it. I want the presentation mode. We can change the top margin. Okay, if we want top here or not. Okay, if we want to know how our project is going be displayed as web, we can click here in preview, and the guidelines and the interactive items are disappear, and now you can interact freely with the graph like if it is a publication. Okay, perfect. Going to settings, and we can change the number of columns. For instance, I can change it to 24 to the double, and now I have like the double of squares, okay, in the grid. So now I can be more, I need to be more accurate, okay, to align the graphics. That if you check here, this graph is not properly aligned. So as bigger as your squares, as easier is to have aligned your items, okay. But if you need more to be more accurate, you can change here. And the grid margins, that is for the separation between squares, okay. This way, if I increase the grid margins, items are going to be with more distance, with a bigger gap between them. And if I reduce it to 0, they're going to make contact. Okay. These are your options, and you can set it as you want. Perfect. You can change the canvas color. For instance, to this color and the background color. And I change the color, okay. And that's all about the layout settings. If you want to know about the pages, pages is okay, it's out of the lesson from today. We are going to discover how to become our projects, how to transform our project from a single data story to a presentation with different pages, okay? And we have a tooltip. We can set the tooltip from the whole project, and we can control like the fonts or the sizes or whatever. And here we have the basic quadrigram styles that we can explore and work with them. Okay. Okay, this kind of alerts of messages that appear are part of the new Quadrigram help system, integrated help system. You can find more information in our blog, and here you have some of the references to help. And it works in the way that when you make an action the first time, one achievement appears, and if you click on it, you can watch for more information. There is a video linked for each achievement, and if you click here to search, we can check all the achievements that you can get, and it could be great if you have all these achievements in green. If you get this, you will be a really good quadrigrammer, okay? So what I have to say for this lesson is done, is this. I want to comment to that it would be great if you are able to find data to change to the previous project. It's okay. I have a challenge for you, okay? For the audience, the viewers on live of from this project and from whatever viewer of the YouTube video that is going to be hung on the website. I have a challenge that it is to find data with this kind of layout. That's a vertical layout, okay? And to find another table with a horizontal layout, okay? Like this, probably with years or dates, it is more interesting. And to try to follow this course, making your own project. Okay, to get it, you have to get different assignments. So the assignment from today that we are going to publish in the blog and in the website course is that first of all to find the horizontal and the vertical table, and after that create a new project in Quadrigram, giving it a name, upload the horizontal and vertical table, assign one variable from the vertical table to the chart, okay, assign a second dimension to a tree map, a second variable to a tree map from the vertical table. Okay, if you want to know what's the tree map, the quadrification, sorry, is this chart, and it looks like something like this. If you click here and assign, for instance, another variable from the vertical table, that's okay. We have the distribution of countries now with this colorful layout, okay? And we can assign the whole horizontal table to the line chart, and we encourage you to change the titles of the axis and add a title for the project, a description of the project, and a title for each graph. Instance, we can add here a title. Then great. And at the end, work in the storytelling. Okay, if you get this project, or if you have doubts following this process, please write us to hello@quadrigram.com or ask us in the community, and we'll try to help you as soon as possible. Okay, so I invite you to the next season, okay, where we are going to continue to know how to assign meaningful colors, better colors than today to this project. We are going to learn how to embed images and videos, how to add a legend to a graph, and how to manage the outputs of the charts with Quadrigram. I don't know if we have any doubt.
No, everything seems fine. No one has any questions.
Perfect. So thank you very much. I think we are going to end the session for now, and that's okay. If you yes, perfect. Just remember, you can ask us whatever doubt that you have in the
We have
section
we have one question from Yuri.
of community. Hi, Yuri. Perfect. Okay. Thanks, Yuri. I have to say I don't know it, but I'll we make a proper subject in the we'll make a proper subject in the community way, because now I don't remember it. Yeah, I don't know. We can try to think about it, but I cannot say you with cannot be sure now what is the difference. Okay, but thanks a lot for the question. And okay, and I will write you to you when we discover it. Okay, when I discover it, when I remember, I have to ask to the team. So really thanks. I don't know if we have more doubts, and that's okay. I think that we are going to finish. Thank you very much.